Story.
Hope you enjoyed that skit. What's good, everyone? It's me, the Whovier, and as you can see by the title, this is something new, something Big Finishy wise. Yes, I will be talking about Big Finish for beginners recommendations. So this, I just sort of came out of the blue. I was just so bored. Like, I was thinking I need to make a video today. I'm just so bored. I want to just make a video. I don't know what to make the video on. So I was just thinking, running things, because I want to do something Big Finish wise. I was like, I've sort of already done some Big Finish stuff. I sort of did like an announcement like a few weeks ago, and I was thinking, like, what can I do? Well, I decided, this was partly inspired actually by when I was looking through the comments on the Time War thing about people saying, this is a thing? This is a new show? This is a new series? Oh my gosh! It's like, oh no, it's audio. It's just like, what exactly is Big Finish? Well, I am looking at you, all you people in the comments who have no idea what Big Finish is, because this video is going to tell you what Big Finish is, and more importantly, I think it's 10, yes, I have as 10 recommendations for you to get into Big Finish. Let's go. So first, what is Big Finish? Well, Big Finish is a company, a very small company established in Britain. I'm sounding like a Wikipedia, but whatever. Basically, they're established in the UK, so I'm further away. They do audios, audio dramas, or audio books. Audio books are when someone reads a book or something. Audio dramas are actual different roles, are actual, like, proper people, like, their roles. Basically, let's just say it's just a regular TV show, except you can't see anything. It's just all in your ears. And that's basically what an audio drama is. So they've been doing it since 1999. Yes, 1999. What happened there? It was during the wilderness years. Quite on the end of that. But yes, they've been doing it from 1999 ever since. They've had two technical eras. They've had the Gary Russell era, which is 1999 to 2006, I think, which spanned from the Sirens of Time to the Year of the Pig. And then you had the Nicholas Briggs era, which it was just stretched from 2006 to now. So basically from Nocturne. I'm not too sure after that, but there was sort of a short gap. All the way up to present, so the current one is the Bethamol. That's the current main range sort of one, so yeah. So, before you get into all this, well, when you actually get into this, you will be flooded with so much content. You'll be flooded by so many ranges. They do loads of ranges. So I'm gonna break it down. Alright. So let's just break it down with each range one by one. So the first one is the monthly range, or the main range. It was basically the main range of Big Finish. That was the one they focused on. Basically every month a new audio would come out. Basically sometimes, rarely, they get two, like last September, they gave us the Silurian Candidate and Time in Office. I've got a list of those. I've heard they're really good. But yeah, basically mostly every month. Back in the Gary Russell era, it was, I think, every month, new Doctor. So you wouldn't get like trilogies or anything like that. What you would do is you'd get basically maybe you get Davison's story, then you would get a Collins story, then you would get McCoy's story, and then you would get a bit of your McGann, which was a part of an overall story arc. There were also little story arcs and things. I'll get into that when I go into my recommendations. So basically, sometimes you would get like, especially with the 8th Doctor, the first series, which was 4 audios. You got that in 4 months in a row, so you got it all in a row, and then you would get your stuff back. So yeah. So the next important one will be the Companion Chronicles. Now, this is sadly discontinued. They've stopped doing Companion Chronicles, but they've moved on to a new sort of format. So the Companion Chronicles was basically making audios for 1 to 4 of the Doctors. Basically, unfortunately, the first 3 had passed away by the time, and Tom, well, he's a bit of a character, so I mean, he didn't really show up for the 20th, did he? So yeah, but anyway, so basically this sort of goes to the audio stage. Basically, it's a mixture of the audio book and an audio drama. Basically, we have the companions, basically the actors who played the companions to that specific Doctor, who are still alive. They narrate the story, and then there's basically it's a mixture. You've got the overall narration, and then you've got other people playing different roles and stuff. So like the companion might narrate the Doctor's voice and stuff. And I've heard Fraser Hines does a brilliant Patrick Troughton impression, so I have to have a listen to that. But yeah. So, and there's also some really good gems in there. Like Last Post, I've heard, is really good. Home Truths, Guardian of the Solar System, I think that's a good one. And you have also little trilogies in that, like I can't remember his name. I think it's Oliver Harper. I think basically he becomes a companion of the First Doctor, where he meets the First Doctor and Stephen. That's like a little trilogy. You also have the Sarah Kingdom trilogy, which include those 2 things: Home Truth and Guardians of the Solar System. I can't remember the other one, but there's other ones like that. So yeah, so basically the older ones, basically the newer ones, I meant, when they discontinued the Companion Chronicles, they've moved on to the early adventures, which I think they've gone. I think the early adventures have gone to the proper audio drama stage. Like they've got the companions to voice the Doctor. Not too sure about the narration because I haven't listened to any of the early adventures yet, so I'll have to listen to those. But from what I heard, like, because basically you can tell if it's sort of like narrated if they say perform. So like, let's say Caroline John performs The Last Post, then that means she's like narrating it. So not too sure. I'll have to look at that. But still, basically that's the sort of the normal ones so far, so yeah. So the next one is the 8th Doctor Adventures. Now this is a collection that went from 2007 to 2011. Basically, Big Finish decided to pull Paul 8 out of the main range and have his own range. Basically, proper normal, stuff. So that ranged for 4 series, and it's brilliant. I'll get into that when I get to my recommendations. So, yes, that's the other one. Basically, that went on for you. The next one is the Lost Stories. This one sort of ranged. This one has unfortunately discontinued as well. These were stories that were planned but were scrapped in the TV classic era. And so basically Big Finish picked them up, which is great because there are some really good things in there. You got stuff from season 27, like Thin Ice. It's called Thin Ice, but bloody series 10 stole that, so we can't use that anymore. Basically, it's really going to be called Ice Time. Crime of the Century, Earth Aid. You had the planned season 23 before Child of the High Lord's story arc was introduced. So I think we only got 2. We only got the Nightmare Fair, which is a brilliant one. I really like that. Return of the Toy Maker. And Mission to Malgus. That was like the other one for season 23. We've also got old sort of thingies like what would I say? You have like from the classic, from the like the finales. I think there was like Farewell Great Modin. I can't remember. Maldoc. I can't remember. I'm terrible at that. But basically, that's what that is. It's basically, it was a final. It's a 6-parter, and Big Fish managed to do it, and I've heard it's really great. You got so many lost stories that you can look at and see what it would have been if it was on the TV screen. So yeah. So the last 2 ranges I want to talk about before I get into the recommendations is the bonus releases and the special releases. So I'm just going to sort of combine this together. So basically these were sort of like, special / bonus that you could get. You could just get them for like a few things. However, there were some that required a prescription, like the 5 Companions and the 4 Doctors. Both I've heard are really good. I've listened to the 4 Doctors and that is gold. I love that. But yeah, it's basically just some special releases. Like back in 2003, the BBC commissioned Big Finish to do an audio version of Shada. And if you know your Shada history, which you should be, because of course Shada's getting released next month for like the 15th time, you would know that they made a BBC webcast of that, and that was based on the audio version. I've actually got that coming now. I've ordered Shada on the way. So yeah, and also they've done Real Time. Those are the other 2 animations they did. They've also done they've done some bonus ones. Return of the Daleks, Cryptobios. I don't know how you say it. You've got Return to the Web Planet, Return of the Crotons. Basically loads of things. Also in the special releases you'll find some really good stuff. The 6th Doctor, The Last Adventure, go check that out. That is good. That is basically what this is to most of us fans of Big Fish. This is the 6th Doctor Regeneration story, because this explains it perfectly. Basically, this is a 4 story set that shows the final confrontation with the Valeyard and the 6th Doctor's final adventure, as it says, the last adventure. So that's good. You've also got the light at the end, which is the 50th anniversary's version, 50th anniversary for Big Finish's 50th anniversary. I'm trying to think of other ones, but I think that's. You've got Unit Dominion. I've heard that's pretty good. I really need to listen to that, because that is the first time we see Alex McQueen's Master. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough of the bonus, all the ranges and stuff in the history. Now it's time to get into the video the reason why you watched this video, the 10 recommendations. Now, I have 2 honourable mentions before we actually get into the thing. So the first one is the 8th Doctor, The Time War. So this is the latest 8th Doctor box set that's come out, and it's brilliant. It's really good. Just missed out on my list because mainly it's a new one, and not really too sure if it's good or bad. I thought it was good personally, but not sure about everyone else. But 8th Doctor Time War, good because it's full new. It's set in the Time War. So if you've come from the Night of the Doctor, this would be a good place to start if you want to start in that era. If you'd like to say, it's a completely new start. Everything's fresh. No new, you get a new companion. No one returning or anything like that. You've got Colonel Lystra, but she becomes important in the 8th Doctor, in the War Doctor. She isn't essential to listen to, so yeah. Next, I have the Master Trilogy, which was included in the main range with And You Will Obey Me, The Vampire Mind, and The Two Masters. I think this was my first delve into one of the first times I delved into the main range. Listened to all of them. They were really good. I really loved them all. And Your Baby was so good with Master's TARDIS being sold at an auction. Vampire Mind, very good. How it's the good old Alex McQueen's master up to no good, running some sort of corporation. And The Two Masters says it all. Jeffrey Beavers meets Alex McQueen, while Sylvester McCoy's doctor has to sort everything out. It's a really good trilogy. I recommend you guys check that out. It's so good. I really do love it to death. Okay, so now we're on to the actual list. So at number 1, which I have none other than Blood of the Daleks. Oh my gosh, yes. Blood of the Daleks is a really great spot. This is the number 1 spot I recommend all newcomers to come to listen to first. This is the best. This is the best way. Mainly if you're a fan of any era, because the Blood of the Daleks starts off what is the 8th Doctor adventures, which I said back in the Rangers when I was talking about the Rangers and stuff. Basically, Blood of the Daleks is the opening to the first series of those 8th Doctor adventures. Basically, it's completely new. The thing is, it's very unique because it is a mixture of classic and New Who mixed together. It has certain New Who elements, including the time, which instead of regular Big Finish, basically they do proper, like, classic long stories. They mainly do 4-parters, so basically they do like 2 hour to 1 hour and 45 minute stories, sometimes a 6-parter. Basically these are only 1 hour to 45 minutes long, so you can get used to those formats. And it's very like the new series. You have proper story arcs through each series, except for series 2. Series 2 and 4 don't really have story arcs, but series 1 and 3 do. They have quite a bit of a strong story arc. Well, yes, you do. You do have a story arc in series 3. Yeah. So, Blood of the Daleks is a really great start. Introduces you to the world of Lucy Miller, who becomes the 8th companion, and it's very good, very intriguing to find out how it's not like she hasn't met him, it's a completely different situation, and that sort of sets up the whole series of the story arcs. It goes, the first series goes from Blood of the Daleks to Human Resources. The whole 8th Doctor era goes from Blood of the Daleks to the death. And I advise you to listen to all of it, all in, like, binge listen to it, or, you know, listen. Well, I think that'll be a bit too hard to watch it all in one, to listen to it all in one go. But listen to it all in order. It's great. I advise you also to listen to The Four Doctors and Unearthly Child. When you get to after you've just finished listening to Death in Blackpool. If you want to know the whole order of stuff, go to the actual Big Finish website and go to the Big Finish recommendation. I'm going to put all of these down in the description below so you can go check them out. Basically, just look at the whole range of the 8th Doctor adventures and see which one's order, and then listen to the Four Doctors if you want to spend a lot of money. You don't have to listen to the Four Doctors. The Unearthly Child is a really essential one. You don't have to listen to the Four Doctors. The Unearthly Child is the more preferable one. But seriously, Blood of the Daleks is a great jumping on point. It is a really good story. really captivates you, and it gives you a whole different thing than what the new series is doing. A brilliant new take on the Dalek story. Next, we have Dark Eyes. I know everyone puts it on their list for recommending, but come on. It's Dark Eyes. It's brilliant. This was actually also partly because this was my favourite. This is the one I got into Big Finish. This was the audio. The first one mainly was how I got, and I was just hooked immediately. After listening to the first part, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so good. And then I found out, like, because like, I listened to this back in 2013, beginning of 2014. Basically, I was like, oh my gosh, Dark Eyes 2's coming out. Pre-order that. But yes, it's such a good place. Basically, a really good job, 4 box sets that spanned over a year, and it has a really good story. Basically, it's basically a a story arc series, like the Keith Trial of Time Lord, and mostly that. Basically, that's what that is. So it's a massive, long series that sort of, I guess you could sort of as a show, really, like Dark Eyes 1, Series 1, Dark Eyes 2, yeah. Basically, you get loads of good stuff. You get introduced to Alex McQueen's Master, which is my favourite Master. He is so good. He deserves to be on TV sometime. You've got loads of new companions. You've got Molly. You've got Liv. You've got loads of characters. You've got new villains. You've got the Dalek Time Control, who's from the previous story, which I'll get into in a minute. You've got Straxus from it's not really that important. You've got the Eminence, which is so good. Probably my favourite Big Finish villain. Like, as in, they've created this whole this whole entity. It is really creative. They've done a brilliant job with it. There's so many twists and turns, and a lot of people say that Eye of Darkness, which is the final of Dark Eyes 4, which is the last Dark Eyes box set, is a bit of a letdown. I disagree. I feel it was a good end, a strong end to the Dark Eyes series. Most people say Dark Eyes 1 and 4 are the best. I have to agree with that, because 2 is pretty good, but a little bit let down. 3 is definitely the weakest because it features no Daleks. It features on the Master and the Eminence. That's mainly all it focuses on. So yeah, but still, it's a great one. Really good. Although I didn't put this in number 1 mainly because in Dark Eyes 1, there's a lot of there's quite a bit of references to the previous story, which is Lucy Miller and To the Death. And so you sort of get a bit spoiled if you listen to that, because there's some really impactful things that haunt the Doctor from that previous story. Basically, Dark Eyes 1 looks at the Doctor. He's very dark. He's lost hope. He's given up on the universe. He's like really, really depressed. Lots of things have happened in that previous story, which why I said go to Blood of the Daleks first, because you'll see what the impact is. I'm sort of really stretching the spoilers because it sounds like something big's happening. I just really don't want to spoil it though, but I think you guys are sort of guessing what's happened. But anyway, still jumping on point, but there might be some things that you might not pick up. So yeah. So next we have at number 3, Storm Warning. Yes, now I've put this one at the sort of last of the 8th Doctor things, mainly because this is more aimed for classic fans. Mainly the length. These are the proper main range ones. These are the ones that go from 1 hour, from like 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Basically, this was the first ever 8th Doctor Big Finish audio they did, which introduced us to Charlotte Pollard, one of the first, I think it was the second ever Big Finish companion, first being Evelyn, which I'll get to soon. And basically, they entered with a brilliant story, a really good jumping on point. It's such a good story. Basically, it's set aboard a historical event, which not people really know that much about, which is good. Basically, because like they can do their own take on it. the R101 back in 19 something. The Doctor runs into a person, a lady or a girl, a young venturess that Charlie calls herself, into a person, to a venturess pretending to be a servant trying to get aboard the R101 called Charlotte Pollard, and she meets the Doctor, and they basically try to solve these things with water saws, hidden spies. It's a really good run-around sort of type of story and a brilliant introduction. The Charlie era stretches from Storm Warning all the way to The Girl Who Never Was. I'll also put this down here. I'll go to the 8th Doctor Collected, because they are sort of jumbled up, because these are in with the main range, so it will get a bit confusing. But if you go to the 8th Doctor Adventures, basically all of them are flat out there, and you can listen to the story. But be warned, Zagreus, make sure you listen to Zagreus, as you saw by the sort of theme by there. But yeah, so it's still, Storm Warning is a brilliant jumping on point for classic fans, and brilliant to come back to once you listen to everything else and you're sort of bored and stuff. So yeah. In 4th place we have the Sirens of Time. Now this is not really regarded as a great Big Finish audio. It's not. I've heard it's not really that good. There's not really unresolved the cliffhangers aren't resolved, but come on, this is the first Big Finish audio, which is why I'm recommending it. When I mean by Big Finish audio, I mean first Big Finish Doctor Who audio. So the Sirens of Times was basically it was the first ever Big Finish Doctor Who Big Finish audio, and it started off with a multi-Doctor story, which featured 5 to 7, which is really great. I've heard it's set on Gallifrey, so I didn't really need to listen to that. But I think this is good because this is a good jumping on point, especially for the main range 1 to 50. Even though there's tons of story arcs and stuff, you can still get into, especially the 1 to 50 range. Basically, also another good reason why is because basically I think for you guys in the UK it's £1. It's like £1.50 or something. Over here it's $2.99. So basically you get a download for $3, and that's like a 2-hour story. That's a pretty good deal. So this is also going to be expanding eventually to the 8. You can actually get the downloads now from the 1 to 100 and 100 really 1 to 100, because 51 to 100 are going out of print. If you want to go see what that's about, go check out my other video some other time about 51 to 100 going out of print. So yes, but still it's a great jumping on point, cheap price. It's just, you know, why not start at the very beginning? Like, what's the harm? In 5th place, I have an odd sort of story, and that's The Harvest. Now, people were like, The Harvest? Why would you put that there? Well, one of the reasons was I barely just listened to it a few days ago, really. And I thought it was good. A lot of people say it's okay, not a great Cybermen story. I think it's pretty okay. I mean, the Cybermen aren't really used that much. They're in this story they're used for experiments and stuff. But I still think it's a decent story. But really the main reason why I put it on this is what it begins with a new companion, which is Hex. Now, Hex's storyline is relatively simple until Gods of Monsters, and then but I won't spoil it. Basically, if you want to get, this story is a great jumping on point because this introduces us to Hex, which where he meets the 7th Doctor and Ace, and they go for a lot of travels until Gods of Monsters, until some big stuff happens, and then I don't really want to say the title because then it'll spoil it. But the next story that features Hex or Hector, basically something big stuff happens. I think he's there for like a trilogy. So it starts with the unnamed one, Revenge of the Swarm, and Signed as Wonders, which is Hex or Hector's final story. That's like the final time we see him, except for Cortex, something like that. Cortex Fire, not Void. I can't remember, but hold on. It's the Shadow Planet and World Apart. So you see him again in that story, which is great. But yes, this sort of sets up the basically the Harvest sets up the arc. Yes, it's a great sort of arc. Basically, I'll link that down. It's a great thing for Hex. You get some really good gems in this sort of era. You've got Enemy of the Daleks, which I've listened to, really great. I've heard the Magic Mousetrap is also really good. You've got some really good sort of story arcs in there. You've got the Black and White TARDIS arc. You've got basically Hex's overall arc in the Project story arc, which ends in with Project Destiny. Loads of great stuff in there. So start with the Harvest. I've linked the collected 7th Doctor down there. Listen to. Basically, there are some more confusing ones because there's some ones that don't feature Hex or Ace at all. Just to make sure, look at the ones if it says at the bottom featuring Philip Oliver as Hex. Those are the ones that you're looking for. So in 6th spot we have the Marian Conspiracy. So I've picked this for 3 reasons. 1, the 6th Doctor. 2, England. 3, it's a good pure historical. So the 6th Doctor. Well, we all know what happened in the TV series, in the TV on TV. Really bad. He was treated poorly. That was mainly because the BBC weren't putting any effort into it. Basically, the whole show just went down the terrible hole. So everyone hated him because he was so violent, so kind of annoying. There was just nothing really liked about him. Boom! Came in Big Finish. Marian Conspiracy is really good. Basically, even though he was in Sirens of Time, which I said before, that was his first one, he's sort of still a bit of the 6th Doctor in that. Basically, the Marian Conspiracy, this is where we really see the 6th Doctor become the kind and soft and Doctor he was meant to be in the TV series. Like, he's the proper, and then he gets better from that. And this was the 4th Big Finish Doctor Who audio they did. So, he's good. The people who are fans of the TV series, you know, who have never heard of Big Finish, someone would come up to them and say, I like the 6th Doctor. He's my favourite Doctor. Everyone just pelt him. Big Finish fans, we would just give them shake their hands and give them a pat on their back. Unfortunately, we'll probably be belted, or we will also be belted for all the other things that we've done, saying that the 4th Doctor is the best, or the 10th Doctor is the best. But ha! Joke's on you, they're also in Big Finish. So, roasted. Anyway, the next part is Evelyn. This was the first Big Finish companion they ever did. Basically, it was very unique because she's not some, you know, young teen, young adults in present day. She's actually an old historian. I think that's it. Yeah, she's an old historian who meets the 6th Doctor, and she's old and she's really good, surprisingly. We haven't really seen like an older person, like an old person, like she's probably like 60, 70, I think she's like 70 in the story, and she goes around and travels with the doctor, and it's a really great thing, a great companion. She's really good. She can sort of tell the Doctor's be put in his place. Perry was kind of a bit afraid of that in the TV series, but Evelyn sort of just, like, sometimes when the Doctor's sort of being a bit out, she can tell him to, like, you know, shut up and get your mind straight and stuff. So I think that was good. but she's still very friendly to the Doctor. They're very friendly to each other. It's really good. Absolutely good. So the next bit is the pure historical. This is surprisingly like a pure historical. It sounds like something different, but it's actually good. It's a pure historical. One of the, I think it was the first one they did actually. So it's set. So basically, the Doctor meets Evelyn, and they are sent back into, I think, 1903 or something, like 1803, where they meet. Can't remember the name, but it's a different sort of Queen Elizabeth, not like the. I can't remember. But yeah, they have to sort of get out of this thing. But yeah, mainly I mainly focused on this because it's Evelyn's first story, and this is where the Sixth Doctor really picks up in Big Finish, and you can see he is a brilliant Doctor. Like, I think that's definitely what Colin needed, because before he was getting like loads of like hate and stuff. Like, especially he was very upset when they released the poll for every single episode ranked, and the Twitter level was at the very bottom, which I can agree, but I don't think Colin was a massive part of that. I think that might have just been the story, but most of his era is like down there. But there's some really good gems in his era, mainly season 22, because there's quite a lot. There's Vengeance of Varos, Revelation of the Daleks, that was good. Time Lash, no, not Time. Sorry, Colin, but Time Lash is the worst for me. I really hate Time Lash. It's just so dreadful. I'm sorry. It's not your acting. It's the story. Yeah. Anyway, at number 6 we have the Marian Conspiracy. At number 7, I'm doing that thing again like I did with Dark Eyes. This always has to be on someone's list, and that is the one, the only, the golden Doctor Who Big Finish story in the main range, and that is the one, the only, Chimes of Midnight. Wait, no, that's the other one. Sorry, I meant Spare Parts. Yes. Also known as Genesis of the Cybermen. I'm sorry, I had to put it on here because it is just so good. It's unbelievably brilliant. I'm just waiting for someone to say it's overrated, because so many people say it's so good. Unfortunately, I've sort of fallen into the trap saying, yeah, it's brilliant. It's so good. It's a great story. At first I was a little confused, because it was just the Doctor and Nyssa. When did that happen? And then I realised, especially because in between Time Flight and Arc of Infinity, Tegan sort of leaves. So it's nice to sort of see the Doctor and Nyssa have a few adventures together. When I mean a few, I mean a lot. Like, basically, almost the entire 1 to 50 is just them two going around and doing stuff. But yes, so it's really great. Spare Part, it's basically known as Genesis of the Cybermen. This is sort of different now because Moffat's sort of, you know, whittled his own way in, but it can still work. I won't go into much detail about it, but I think I expressed it on Twitter actually, so yeah. So this is a great jumping on point for newcomers, because it introduces the world of the Cybermen and Nyssa. This is also with the thing about taking place between Time Flight and Arc of Infinity, is we have a few mentions from Earthshock. To be honest, there's no real spoilers here, but you get references to Adrix's death, say when some people have lost people to the Cybermen. Nyssa sort of covers and says, I too lost a friend to the Cybermen, of course meaning to Adrix. So yeah, it's really great standoff against the beginning of the Cybermen. It's really like, what would I say, basically the Cybermen's organisation, how they're starting off is basically everyone thinks it's a great thing, like it's like a job sort of thing. Everyone wants to apply for that job and get into that. It's like thinking about it, it's like the conscript from the 8th Doctor, the Time War, with being in the Time War. People want to get involved because they want to be heroes. They want to apply for the war. So this is the same thing with Spare Parts, where people want to apply themselves, to see what's going on and be a part of what is mainly history. And of course, it turns out they're just becoming Cybermen, which is awful. But still, it's a great story, really cinematic, very great. If you want to know origin stories, if you love Genesis of the Daleks, Spare Parts is definitely for you. Maybe we should do which one's better, Genesis of the Daleks or Spare Parts. That seems like a great fight. So, at number 8, we have another sort of unusual one, and that is Eye of the Scorpion. Now, this is a very interesting one. Unfortunately, I'm going back to what I sort of said before with the companion stories. Now, Eye of the Scorpion is the first story to feature Eraman. I think that's how you say it. Basically, she's a pharaoh queen, and she goes and travels with the Doctor and Perry, because this is sort of set between Planet of Fire and Cage of Andrazani. And now, basically, I'll get to this in a minute. Hold on. So, basically, this story is set in Egypt and involves loads of things. Eye of the Scorpion, you know, probably metaphorical. Haven't listened to this one. This seems like a very odd list. I'm recommending big fiction stories I haven't listened to. I've just heard loads about them to think, yeah, okay, I think that will good. Basically, my excuse is it's a companion's first story. All right, so you know, just no, it'll be fine. It's like, I mean, I would recommend, like, if I never watched Rose, I would still recommend it because it's her first story. Smith and Jones, if I had never watched it, I'll still recommend it anyway because it's her first story. It's really sets up things, but yeah, but still, it looks to be a great sort of story. Yeah, now going back to Perry and stuff. Now, some people have a sort of complaint about the Fifth Doctor and Perry, especially, basically involving Cage of Andrazani with his regeneration. The reason why a lot of people loved Davis Peters, well, the Fifth Doctor's reasons for regeneration, he was going to sacrifice himself just to save a person he only knew an episode. They knew for like 2 episodes. Like they felt like they haven't known each other for a long time. Of course, now we got Big Finish. We have loads of things with the Fifth Doctor. We've got Red Dawn, the entire Eraman thing, which basically stretches over the whole, basically the whole Gary Russell era mainly. Basically, most of the companion stuff ended in the Gary Russell era, except for Hex's era and Evelyn's era. Basically, all the other ones ended after that. Which is a bit of a weird, because Girl Who Never Was, which is Charlie's final story, was the episode before The Bride of Pellinor, which is Eraman's last story. So, very interesting indeed. So, it's still a great jumping on point. Anyway, going back to, the Perry thing, it kind of feels like redundant that it doesn't really feel right that the Doctor's known Perry for so long, and it feels like he's sacrificing himself just to save her because he's known for a long time. The reason why everyone loved it so much was because he cares about people even though he's hardly knew them. Like he hardly knew Perry for like ages. Like she only met him in the previous episode, and he's already sacrificing himself for her. So that's why, and some people are really annoyed that they've gone and done this. But to be honest, I don't mind, because then it sort of makes a bit more sense. Because it's to be honest, for me, it's a win-win. I'm happy that he sacrificed because that's a really kind thing to do. But then with the Fifth Doctor, with him and Perry travelling for ages, it does also give you another win as well, because he's known her for ages. He knows, like, he takes care of her. She sometimes takes care of him, and he sort of knows when the end is. Like, he knows how to sort of, you know, he will to sacrifice himself for her. So yeah. Anyway, I've got a bit off topic there. So anyway, Eye of the Scorpion, brilliant way to sort of kick off this video. Also, this video it's been a nightmare to record. I've had to go through 2 memory cards. and it's just been a complete nightmare. So I'm sorry if I've got, this is going to be a really long video. This might be the longest Big Finish recommendation for beginners I've ever done. So, sorry. Anyway, at number 9, we have Destination Nerva. Now, think about this. Now, okay, Destination Nerva is regarded as a really terrible Doctor Who Big Finish story. Now, the reason why I put this on here is obvious. It's the beginning of the 4th Doctor Adventures. Now, I forgot to sort of mention this with the 4th Doctor Adventures. Basically, why don't they have him in the main range? Well, it was sort of due to Tom sort of being a bit reluctant, really. He didn't really want to be with the other Doctors, to be honest. But he does come in for the Big Finish 50th, which is good. So, yes, but he has his own sort of range like the 8th Doctor does. So that started with Destination Nerva. Now, I know, it's not a great story to delve in, but if your favourite is Tom, which most people who are watching are, yeah, it's basically the jumping on point. Basically, it's very much like the 8th Doctor's, only like 1 hour stories, good story arcs. Basically, it's mainly a companion, new companion every series. So you've got, I think series 1 has Leela, series 2 has Romana 1, which was absolutely brilliant because Mary Tam sadly passed away. So we were lucky enough to get a whole series with her and a few companion chronicles back in when they were still going. Series 3 I think goes back to Leela, and then sort of goes around, and I think series like 4 has Romana 2, Lila Ward, what everyone says is the better Romana. But yeah, and so that basically has been going on. And then recently series 6 was a really good, I was really looking forward to series 6 because it's set in season 18. Now season 18 was when the massive change came. Basically new TARDIS, new costume, loads of stuff. Like really, basically it's set in the world of series 18. So you've got K9, Lila Ward as Romana, and you've got the season 18 season 18 4th Doctor, and the banner is completely changed the proper star field and stuff, the logo and stuff. It's really great. But I think that's what they're sort of going for. What I'm just hoping for is we get some more Adric stories, even though that's a bit, weird. But they've managed to redeem the 6th Doctor. They managed to redeem Bonnie Langford's Mel in the Big Finish. I think they could do it with Adric. I'll have to listen to the 5th Doctor box set and the latest 5th Doctor main range stories because they have Adric in them. So yeah. So yes, one other thing good about Destination Nerva is, of course, Nerva, which is the Nerva Beacon, which was a sort of a story arc in season 12, which was Tom's first series. Basically stretched over from the arc in space and ended with Revenge of the Cybermen. So it was nice to sort of return back to the Nerva Beacon and see what's happened. Obviously, he's got Leela this time. So yes, it's really interesting to look at. But this is a good jumping on point. Really, any sort of one sort of is good jumping on. Although the finale, I think the finale of series 2 introduces a new villain by David Warner, who, if you know from your Big Finish history, he is actually a Doctor. He's a different Doctor. He's an Unbound Doctor, which is from Doctor Who Unbound. But I'm not going to go into this in this thing because that's a completely different topic to this one. But yes, he plays. I can't remember his name, but he's sort of featured in future stories. Future like series, like in series 4, 5. There's loads. There's loads. So there's a total of 6 series so far. I think it's actually ended. I think series 7's coming out next year. So yeah. So first off, Destination Nerva. So at number 10, we finally made it. Oh, the struggle is over. So I've saved The best till last, even though I said number one was the one I most recommend. Basically here is, I have basically, you know, it's the one that everyone should listen to at least. Even it, like, especially for a new series, or if you've never listened to me finish, it is the one, the only, the golden, the best special release of all time. It is Zagreus! Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I think there was a little, hold on, yeah, it's the script, right, oh dear, Zagreus, sorry, I didn't mean for Zagreus, I meant, where is it? Oh, damn it, Julius, why do you have to put a typo? Then people are gonna look at it and say that, what, they're gonna, oh gosh, where is it? Zagreus, oh, yes, sorry, okay, don't click off this video. That is not, Zagreus is not what you should listen to. Do not listen to Zagreus, just don't listen to Zagreus until you've listened to loads of Big Finish. Don't listen to Zagreus, don't, just, I'm putting a warning up here, do not listen to Zagreus, do not listen to Zagreus, otherwise your Doctor Who fandom will crush. Now, okay, sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, sorry about that. So what I meant to say was, at number 10, we have the 10th Doctor Adventures, volumes 1 and 2. Basically, I put those two together because technically it's coming out basically this month. So, yes, what a better way to start for you New Who fans than starting with your good old New Who Doctor. What a way to bring you. Basically, first we have the 10th Doctor Adventures Volume 1, which features David Tennant and Catherine Tate as Donna Noble. Probably my favourite New Who companion. I mean, a lot of people say she's excellent. So, that finishes that off. All the end of that. So, thank you for watching. All the things will be down in the description below. Make sure to check those out. And comment down below what your recommendations are and what ones you would like to listen to. Updates on the channel, not too sure really. Basically, the 8th Doctor Adventures, 8th Doctor Big Finish reviews are coming-ish at the end of the month, hopefully. I haven't filmed any of them yet. Still sort of planning and stuff. So, yes, I have like literally a few seconds left on my capture card, well, my memory card. So, yes, thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like and a comment. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out my Twitter. Check out all Big Finish below. If you have any questions or concerns, just ask me down in the comments, and I'll hopefully get back to you. So, I sound like a weird receptionist, but yeah, alright. Anyway, so thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. This is me, the Hoover Red, signing out. Goodbye. This is just, you know, a little blooper. I'm just sitting in my chair, waiting for my internet to load because my computer is pretty terrible. So, life. Honestly, I feel so hot right now. Like, I don't know why I'm sweating a lot. Like, I just came up with this idea literally, like, I can't even remember, like, a few minutes ago. Oh, well, we got internet, okay, we seem to have, it says no internet, but that's, That's as good as we're gonna get. So I'm gonna get back to the sketch. So bye. Okay, another update. Not working still. I've tried going to the Big Finish website, but it's not working. So we're just going to go to here and press disconnect. And now we can let's have a game of. All right, let's go. We can do this. All right. Yeah. Bugger. What? We can do this. Yeah. Oh, bugger off. Alright, I'm currently looking through the camera, so that might be a bit why now. Now. Yeah. On a roll. Oof. Whoa. Ooh. Oh yeah, mate. 300. Go on forever. Actually, that's a lie. Oh, 100. Let's make it 500. Come on. Yeah, 500. Woo. What the heck was that? Ooh. What the heck are those? Whatever. So let's try and get back to the internet. So I'm just gonna go back into here. Aha! Since we have better connections, so gosh, it's like a Bells of St. John. Why am I going this side? That's weird. No, can't connect to this network. Why? Let's just see. This is why I don't like this computer. I really need a new one. See, no networks found. Are you retarded? You're a bloody computer. You're especially retarded. Anyway, I'm gonna try and sort this thing out. So I'm zoomed in a bit longer. No. There we go. So yeah, just gonna have to wait till this thing gets till I can connect properly. So. So the first one we have is the monthly range or the main range. Basically, this was sort of the main range. There's the main range of the audios back in when Big Finish was first getting their feet together. Basically, this basically every month they release a new audio. Sometimes they can do special, like two special ones. And sorry. So number one, the Sixth Doctor. What everyone overlooks. Basically, in Big Finish, we have two Sixth Doctors. We have the TV Doctor and the Big Finish Doctor. Big Finish TV, Sixth Doctor, Big Finish, Sixth Doctor. So the Marian Conspiracy was the first. Basically, there was TV series. They like like BBC. They treated Colin's Doctor like trash. I mean, this was when 1980. I can't remember. I think it's 83. What is it? Okay.